Folks, welcome back to another episode of The Fallen Badge. Today we're going to look at the murder of Deputy Zachari Parrish III, Douglas County, Colorado. Now, Zach Parrish was born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee. Then later on, he ends up moving out west. Now, there ain't but one thing that would make a man travel 1,100 miles cross country, and that would be because of a woman, and not just any woman, but the woman of his dreams. Now, for a while out west, he was doing a white-collar job, and he wasn't very happy doing that, so he decided he wanted to be the police. Now, he was with Castle Rock Police Department for a couple of years. And then after that, he traveled up a little further north and got on with the Douglas County Sheriff's Department. Now, at the time of these events, he had not been there quite a year with Douglas County. But everything I've read said he was a good police officer. And he had 2 kids, too. I bet they were proud of their daddy. Folks, before we get into the story, this episode came from a request by dispatcher 1216. He gave me several officers' names, and this is the one that the story is pretty compelling, so I appreciate 1216 letting me know about this case. It's December 31st, 2017. It's about 3 a.m. in the morning. Douglas County dispatchers get a call. It's a male, and he's rambling on the phone, but he's basically telling communications that he's into it with his roommate. Now, when the address is given, communications sees an advisory on this address. In our department, we called it a hazard. I'm sure their title for it was about the same, but basically what it means is someone at that address could be a danger. In this particular case now, the caller, who is going to be the suspect, was suffering from PTSD. He was an Iraqi war veteran. He'd had some run-ins here in Colorado and also Wyoming with police and other people, family members. Now, the hazard also indicated that he had weapons in the house, which I don't want to get too far into it, but we certainly need to tidy up our laws and rules governing violent mental consumers having possession of firearms, but that's a different story for a different day. Now, officers make the scene, and one of them is Zach, Deputy Parrish. They get there, they immediately separate the two roommates, which is good. At the time the deputies got there, they weren't arguing at that point. They had stopped. So they separate them, which is good. You want to get the people involved out of each other's eyesight, so you can talk to each one of them separately. So they talk to the roommate. Zach's actually talking. Deputy Parrish is actually talking to the roommate, and he says he's getting ready to go to work and there's no problem. Now they talk to the suspect, and Zach's able to calm him down. Now, I didn't see anything in the research material that said that Deputy Parrish was a CIT officer, but if he wasn't, he sure should have been, because he has the demeanor, the voice, everything, very common influence. He's very impressive. So he talks to the suspect and gets him calmed down, because the suspect does not like the police. And he seemed to have a vendetta against the sheriff of Douglas County in particular. But anyways, Deputy Parrish does a good job, calms him down. They know the roommate's getting ready to go to work, so everybody's good. So they clear the scene. 2 hours later, give or take, communication gets another call from the same suspect. He's in a manic stage. He's talking out of his head. So they send officers back over there. Deputy Parrish, Deputy Dole, Deputy Davis, Deputy Pella, and then their Field Sergeant Bayer. They all make the scene. Now, they get him to come to the door. Deputy Parrish is talking to him, and he's wanting to file some kind of a domestic restraining order or something. Deputy Parrish is telling him he can help him, being real cordial with him, and looks like maybe he's going to have him calm down, and then all of a sudden the suspect just slams the door in their faces, and he's in there ranting and raving. You can hear him, and he's tearing stuff up. So Deputy Parrish tells him we're going to have to take him. They're saying, okay, well, what for? And they're saying he called it an M1, which is, here in Memphis, we would refer to it as a 603. We're going to get him emergency committed. So that's the plan. Now they work out their little plan. Deputy Davis is going to have the shield go in first. Parrish is going in second. He's going to have his pistol out, lethal force. Then you've got Deputy Dole is going in third. He's got out the taser, less than lethal. And then you've got Deputy Pella, and followed behind him would be Sergeant Bayer. Now they're both hands-free. There's a particular reason for this setup. If they have to use deadly force, obviously that'd be Deputy Parrish. If it's something else where they can just use the taser, then Deputy Doyle will handle that. Now, if it's a situation where they don't have to shoot him, they don't have to tase him, then you've got Pella and Sergeant Bayer will grab him and handcuff him. Now, in the interim, the roommate has returned from work. Well, they tell him he's going to have to go somewhere else because they're having a situation. They ask for permission to go in. He tells them they can. He gives them his key so they can get into the apartment. When they go in, the suspect's bedroom is the first door there on the right. Now, just from the footage, it looked like the suspect intentionally threw stuff on the floor, tore up the apartment to slow down the deputies. So now you've got Deputy Davis with the shield. She's to the left side of the door. As you can see, there's a little foyer or entryway there before you go into the bedroom where the suspect's at. Deputy Parrish, he's attempting to kick the door in. He's identifying himself as Sheriff's Department trying to kick the door. Then you've got Doyle to his right, and then Pella's behind him, and then Sergeant Bear.
Open the door! Sheriff's office!
Now, when the gunshots start, Deputy Parrish is standing in front of the door. Now, the suspect opens up with an M16 rifle, and they're estimating he emptied a 30-round magazine basically through the door. Now, Parrish is hit. Deputy Parrish is hit. 11 rounds. He goes down. Deputy Davis is hit in the arm. I don't know which arm, but just judging by the video and then some of the still images, it looks like she probably would have got hit in the left arm because she turned back to her right when the shots are going off. Now, she has to retreat. She can't go out the front door, so she has to retreat further into the apartment. And she goes into the bedroom of the roommate, who, of course, is at work. She's trapped back there. Now, Deputy Doyle, Deputy Pella, and Sergeant Bear, they run back out the front door and are standing there by the front door. Now, they realize that Parrish is down. So now they're going to go back in and get him. And if you listen to the audio that goes along with the video of the body cams, you can hear Doyle saying, "Cover me." Now he moves back in through the front door, and Pella's behind him. Sergeant Bear, I'm assuming, is covering the front door because you want to make sure your exit is protected. Now, Deputy Doyle says that he was able to get a hold of one of Deputy Parrish's boots. He could see one of his boots. So that tells me that when Deputy Parrish was hit, he fell forward, head towards the bedroom door and his feet out towards the hallway there. And he says he's trying to pull him back out around the corner. Now that's when the suspect opens up with the second volley of fire. During the second volley of fire, Deputy Doyle is struck in the arm. Now I'm going to venture to guess it was the right arm, since that would have been the side of him that would have been closest to the suspect. Because now the suspect's just spraying and praying. He's firing through the doors and the walls. Also in that second fuselage of shots, Deputy Pella, he gets a through, maybe it's not a through and through round, but he takes a round just above the vest and under the arm. And he goes down. Now that wound that he gets, I'm assuming it's a 223 round, it collapses his right lung. So now we've got everybody's been shot on the scene except Sergeant Bear. Now Sergeant Bear and Deputy Doyle are able to drag Deputy Pella back down the steps, and they get him onto the grass there in front of the building. And then the suspect continues to open up. Now, I don't know if he's just fired indiscriminately through the windows or not, but he is firing. Now, of course, they realize that they can't get Deputy Parrish out, and they don't know where Deputy Davis is. All they know is she ran further into the apartment. Deputy Davis, inside the bedroom, decides it's probably safer to go out the window than it is to stay in there and duke it out with a Iraqi war veteran armed with an M16. So she breaks out the bedroom window. And remember now, she's been shot in the arm. So she climbs out the window and hangs and then drops to the ground. And then she breaks her leg. Well, then she's able to hop. I don't want to call it a run, more like hopping. She's dragging that broken leg, and she's got an arm she can't use, and she goes back around to where the other deputies are. Now, obviously, they're called for help. If you listen to the video, you can hear Deputy Davis advise that all the deputies on the scene have been shot and they need help. Now, they decide that they got to get Deputy Pella out of there. And folks, I don't know how many of these episodes you've seen I've done, but I can promise you the majority of the officer deaths I've covered, the fatal round was that round that went above the vest, between the top of the vest and the armpit, and it goes through the body, and that usually kills them. And that's usually just a pistol round. This is a rifle round. So how Deputy Pella is even still alive is it's beyond belief. He's a tough fella. So they load him up in the sergeant's cruiser, and they take him out of the complex, and they meet the fire department there around the front entrance. And the fire department takes Deputy Doyle and Deputy Pella, and I'm assuming now they took Deputy Davis as well. Now, Sergeant Bayer, I think he went back to the scene. I'm not for sure. He probably would have needed to, since he's the only one that knows what was going on, the exact department and what's going on with the suspect. And so they know they've got to get Deputy Parrish out. Now, the calls went out, so they've got every agency within probably 30, 40 miles is coming. Now, they finally get enough of TAC units there, and that includes the TAC unit from Deputy Parrish's former department, Castle Rock. So they put the TAC unit together, and the suspect by now has fired over 100 rounds. So the TAC units are engaging him. Well, finally they send TAC guys up a ladder onto a balcony, and then they send a team up the stairs. Now, when the TAC unit makes entry, they engage the suspect. Now, the suspect shoots and wounds the TAC commander. The TAC commander knew Deputy Parrish when they worked together at Castle Rock. Now, during this exchange of gunfire, the suspect is shot and killed. Now, they're able to recover Deputy Parrish's body, but now he's DOA. So they put him in an ambulance and take him to the hospital. Now, I did want to take a second and just commend the 4 surviving officers on that scene. I thought they did an outstanding job, and their interview that they had with ABC's Nightline was pretty impressive. Now, I included a picture of Deputy Pella when he was recovering in the hospital. Anybody that tough deserves a hospital picture. Now, that fellow there in the picture with him, obviously that's his mama, and it's either his wife or his girlfriend, but now that gentleman sitting beside him, that's his daddy, and his daddy, I think he has just recently retired. He'd been a sheriff in one of the counties there in the area for a long time, so I guess we know where Deputy Pella got that toughness from. Deputy Zachari Spurlock Parrish the third. End of watch, December 31st, 2017.